Hello guys, how is it going? You alright? So today is Wednesday, the 2nd of September 2015. So yeah, how's it going guys? It's been quite a while since the last time I talked to you. So some of you might be saying that I'm coming back again, surfacing again on the back of, as you all know, 3-0 appalling defeat at Anfield for the first time, or I don't know, for the first time in how many decades, that West Ham achieved a famous victory to be written in the history books for the wrong reasons, obviously. So 3-0 win at Anfield. I'm not even interested to talk about the game. I think it was a well and truly deserved defeat, no matter, even if Liverpool were reduced to 10 men, even if you want to debate about the Philippe Coutinho red card, whether it was fair or unfair, the performance of the referee Kevin Friend during the day. But for me, it was a logical result. 10 men or not, Liverpool well and truly deserved their defeat last week against West Ham at Anfield, 3-0. And I'm not even interested, guys, to talk about the terrific performance of the defense. About a certain Dejan Lovren especially, but the whole team in general, the creativity, the number of shots on target. What I want to talk in this video mainly is more on a general point of view. What's been happening so far up till now. So Liverpool, at the time of speaking, have 7 points from 4 games. Yes, 7 points from 4 games played. It's not the end of the world. It's not a disaster from a points tally in the league, if you want to know my true opinion. So obviously they kept 2 clean sheets, 2 1-0 wins against Stoke and Bournemouth. Got a 0-0 draw at the Emirates, especially that during the last few years, every time Liverpool came back from the Emirates against Arsenal away with 0 points. So some of you, and mainly whether it was in the papers or some of the fans, were saying that maybe, just maybe, it's a new start. The defense was solid 1-0 wins, albeit not pretty football, but realist and being efficient. And before the game against Arsenal, I think Liverpool were only the team with Manchester City, who are flying at the moment, and Leicester, I think, were the only teams unbeaten and were going for a 100% record in the league. And even if they didn't win, they didn't concede in the first 3 games of the new season, which was deemed both fantastic and also a bit surprising, considering how bad the Liverpool defense. We've had so many debates about the Liverpool defense last season, as you all know. But then everything came back down to earth. It was a bit of a case of a same old story again against West Ham and everything. But to be perfectly honest with you guys, maybe you won't believe me because I'm surfacing now. I'm doing a video only now. Maybe some of you will say that, oh, it's funny that you make only videos when Liverpool lose to prove a point. Prove that you were always right, you know everything and all this. Well, believe me or not, obviously I'm happy I won't say happy. I would say I was more relieved, happy also, obviously, when Liverpool up until the third game against Arsenal. But to summarize very quickly the three games, I think again, apart from the first half against Arsenal, and even this, was it a case of Arsenal playing badly, very badly, in the first half against Arsenal? But Liverpool, to be fair, played well, had many chances to bury the game. I think they could have been 3 or 4-0 up by half time. But how different it was in the second half against Arsenal. It was the complete opposite. And at times Liverpool were even lucky. So we could say that on the basis of two halves against Arsenal, a draw was probably a fair result, just. But as for the games against Stoke, a wonder goal from Philippe Coutinho. For me, it could have easily ended 0-0. The defense didn't do particularly badly for the first game, the season opener against Stoke, but at the same time, Stoke also... I don't want to discredit the team. They got their win, fair enough. And Philippe Coutinho scored a fantastic goal. But for me, it could easily have ended up 0-0. Because we can't keep relying on wonder goals. Wonder goals are very beautiful to watch, or great to see, but they are wonder goals. So we are not... we've got to be realists, and if we will count only on wonder goals to win our games, Liverpool won't go very far. If you see what I'm trying to... if you see what I mean. And as for the game against Bournemouth, Liverpool were very, very, very lucky. They scored a goal which was offside. As you all know, the Benteke goal was clearly offside. And Bournemouth had numerous chances. They even hit the post, and they could easily have lost this game. So, like I'm telling you, despite Liverpool, a section of Liverpool fans or whatever was saying that we are having it's a new dawn, a new season, a terrific start, which was on paper, mathematically, granted. But performance-wise, then again, I won't complain if we keep playing badly and winning games, but usually these things don't happen. You can't keep getting away playing poorly and hoping for wonder goals or winning with offside goals or whatever, if you see what I mean. So for the first two games for me against Stoke, it could and should have been a 0-0 draw, and against Bournemouth it could have been a loss, and against Arsenal probably it was a fair result. And I won't talk again about the game against West Ham. It was disaster from start to finish. And so at the time of speaking, like I'm saying, Liverpool have 7 points. It's not a disaster. Some teams are doing... I won't talk about other teams, but just a special mention about the likes of Chelsea. Arsenal also did start badly against West Ham. Obviously, they lost the first game at home against West Ham. But I don't want also to say that fair dues to West Ham for having... but for me, you know, I don't want to be biased or whatever. Liverpool played very, very, very badly against West Ham. They defended badly. They had no creativity. Christian Benteke, for all his efforts and for all his endeavour up front, is still alone. No support, absolutely no support. And it's the same old problems. The problems that we've been speaking since last season. So as you all know also, there have been changes. We can't say there haven't been changes, but the one and only change, yes, I will admit it, guys, that I was hoping for, that is a change of manager more than a change of players. Didn't happen. Why didn't it happen? Who knows? You could say from one end that for all the players that Brendan Rodgers has bought this season, and the changes in his backroom staff, you would be tempted to say that FSG have fully backed Brendan Rodgers. But then, if they fully backed him, at the same time also there's no more room for excuses. I think a strict minimum of a top 4 place is expected from him. Not talking about trying to win at least the first trophy of his career. But to come back to Brendan Rodgers and Liverpool in general, for me, again, to be perfectly honest with you, I was hoping for Jurgen Klopp or even Rafa Benitez, who for me, both these managers are miles ahead. I'm not interested. You can say whatever you want. I'm miles ahead of a manager like Brendan Rodgers. I prefer them. And it didn't happen for many reasons. Rafael Benitez, as you all know, is at Real Madrid now, and Jurgen Klopp, I don't know, decided to take a rest. And so Brendan Rodgers was, I think, instead of being backed, was given a stay of execution for me. Now, believe it or not, I'm not a fan of Brendan Rodgers once again, but I don't want him to do badly. But am I expecting him to do well? Absolutely not. Absolutely not, guys. And what's happening this season again isn't giving me much hope. I'm not hoping, believe it or not, once again, I'm not hoping for him to get sacked and to do badly for me to come here in a video saying how vindicated I was. See, I was right. Yeah, that would mean I want Liverpool to lose, to do badly. Obviously not, guys. I want him to do well. I try as much as I can to support him. But once again, his decisions, and some people are saying that they could see a change from himself. Maybe he's a bit quieter, which is not a bad thing. But let us talk, for instance, before the game against West Ham. He did say, Brendan Rodgers, that it was the toughest game of all the games being played. That's not a bad thing to say. But at the same time, he started again to heaping praise on Dejan Lovren, saying that he thinks that he's fully adapted now. It takes time when you join a big club and all this. And look what happened against West Ham. And he's playing players out of position again. Joe Gomez has impressed me, guys. Don't get me wrong. He's a terrific young player. He's impressed me. I wasn't hoping from anything. From when Joe Gomez signed for Liverpool, I was saying, who the fuck is this? Another youngster, known youngster. But he's got potential again. Young, good kid, as Brendan Rodgers would say, with wonderful character. And he has done well, but he's supposed to be a centre-back. He's right-footed and he's playing as left-back. He's solid. He's doing his best. But for me, he's playing out of position. The selection of Dejan Lovren, once again, you could say that Liverpool kept 3 clean sheets before the disaster against West Ham, but I just cannot accept it. I just cannot get it, guys. Dejan Lovren playing ahead of Mamadou Sakho, for instance. I wasn't very happy about the loaning out of Thiago Llori. Now, don't get me wrong, we haven't seen Thiago Llori, but can it be worse? We've seen a lot of Martin Skrtel and Dejan Lovren, and it hasn't worked very well. Nathaniel Klein is doing all right, solid performances from him. Christian Benteke, like I'm telling you, works hard. He's more mobile than Balotelli, obviously. But for me, albeit he puts in more effort and he's more mobile, more endeavor, and it's the same old problem, guys. He's isolated in the system. He doesn't have enough support, and we don't have the team, except from the first half against Arsenal, and for me it was also a lot due to Arsenal playing badly. Maybe they were still they were a bit nervous from what happened in the first game. They are under pressure to win their first points at home, to have their first win at the Emirates. But that's not to say that I'm interested in other teams. That's just a thought that I'm having. But Brendan Rodgers, guys, I want to support him, but the guy is so stubborn. And again, I'm starting to repeat myself, guys. That's why I do not make many videos, because it's the same things that we'll be talking again and again. He's so stubborn. He excessively believes in himself, and for me, he hasn't learned. Liverpool still have many problems to beat teams which park the bus. They do not have any plan B. Wrong selection, players being played out of position, favoritism, selection based more on favoritism rather than meritocracy for me. Seriously, guys, you might not be a fan of Mamadou Sakho, but what has Sakho done wrong to be between Mamadou Sakho and Dejan Lovren? Which of these players has played more badly? Come on, be honest, seriously. And it would seem that as if, I might be wrong, I might be paranoid or whatever, but it's always a kind of Brendan Rodgers trying to prove something at the expense of the welfare of the football club. And this is what bothers me. You know, he tries to prove something. We don't know, it's the same old debate, committee signing, Brendan Rodgers signing. And for me, there can't be any other reason to select Dejan Lovren, for instance, ahead of Mamadou Sakho, flushing out Thiago Llori without even giving him a chance. And that's not to say that Liverpool they might have the numbers in terms of centre-backs, but it's not to say that they are a model in defense right now. So do I believe that things will get better, guys? I'm hoping for it, but do I believe? No, guys. And with the fixtures that are coming, now obviously the next game is against Manchester United at Old Trafford. We have an appalling record at Old Trafford, and I think so far Brendan Rodgers hasn't got the better of Luis van Gaal, or just like Jose Mourinho. And games away against United, City, Tottenham, a Merseyside derby against Everton coming. I can see the pressure starting to building up very, very quickly. And when you see the comments of the likes of Harry Redknapp, this morning I read his comments saying that Liverpool are bang average. And Harry Redknapp is not one to hold his tongue in his mouth, you know, he will say it as he thinks, and I don't quite disagree with him. Maybe it's not the worst Liverpool team I've ever seen, you know, I've seen worse things during my time as a Liverpool fan, but it's not that great, guys. You have a couple of good players, I won't name them, but it's about the system, and all this stuff changed, you know. Sean O'Driscoll, Pep Linders, or even Gary McAllister. Gary McAllister was a fan of the player, but a coach or whatever. Has he got the stuff? Because for me, Mike Marsh and Colin Pascoe, nothing against them, they were a bit of kind of yes men, you know. You need someone to make you think, you know, of Brendan Rodgers, and seeing him persisting the same system and all this. I'm fed up with all these guys, seeing such defensive formation. But we'll have to see what happens, guys. All right, I'll leave you there. That's what I wanted to say. Share my thoughts a little bit with you regards to the last few weeks since the new season started. Believe me, I'm not making this video on the back. It's not a knee-jerk reaction. Also, guys, it's not a knee-jerk reaction. We've been talking about this for the whole of last season. And what I mean is wrong selection, players being played out of position, no creativity, only one striker up front with no support, defense not very confident about the defense. So let me know your thoughts, guys, and what do you think will happen? If you want my thoughts right now, I'm hoping that I'm wrong, but what I can see forthcoming for Liverpool in the next few months, I can't see Brendan Rodgers surviving. They might even get a caretaker manager again, but again, it would be such a waste of time. But maybe it was a case of availability also. I don't know, guys. I love the club with all my heart, as you all know, but I'm not very confident. Not very confident, guys. All right, let me know your thoughts. I'll leave you there, and please like, please subscribe, and I'll catch up with you soon. All right, take care, guys. I love you all. Peace.